What's up, buddies? What Jim? And I'm joined by three guests this time, as we're going to be talking about the 1994 Disney classic, The Lion King. So I'm joined by Jason, the Old Millennial, aka Chicken Little.
Yep.
We've got Nick with his channel Townsend 505, but by this time it's Scar 505. And we got Jacob Martin, aka Pumba. And we got myself, What the Simba. So I'm pretty excited to review this movie. I know it's one of our favourites.
Yeah.
It's my fifth favorite Disney movie of all time, so that's up there.
There it is. Yeah.
This is not only my favorite Disney movie, it's also my favorite animated movie in general. Top
agree,
5 movies of all time, and my favorite out of the Disney Renaissance.
I think it's my fourth favorite movie of all time.
Oh yeah, cool.
I'd say, like, in terms of like animated movies, it's definitely up there with my favorite Disney movie is the Great Mouse Detective.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that Finding Nemo is definitely up there from Pixar. Shrek 2 is really up there. All three Madagascar movies are masterpieces in my opinion. So Lion King's up there though.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about what we like about this movie, what we don't like about this movie, but I doubt there'll be many negatives with this film. And then we'll give our score on what we rate this movie out of 10. So I'm just curious, none of us were alive when the film came out, except for you, Jason. Did you watch it in the cinema when it came out?
I definitely did. It was my birthday too. I remember.
Cool.
So 1994?
Yeah.
1994. So I was turning 11 years old. So it was my 11th year birthday, and I had like 3 or 4 friends with me, and my dad took all 4 of us to see The Lion King in the theater. And I was like, and then we came home and like had cake and they stayed over and we had a great night out. It was great. And yeah, I remember seeing this in the theater, and it's funny because it's like we came off of Aladdin. And I thought Aladdin was like the best movie I've ever seen in my life. I was like huge Aladdin fan. I was like, there's no way you're gonna like outdo Aladdin. And then the next year or two, Lion King comes out, and I see that in theater, and I thought, oh my gosh, I think I like this even better than Aladdin. I was like, how did they do it? Like, how did they knock it out of the park again? Like, it was a great movie experience. Like, we all loved it, and we laughed throughout. It was funny. It was sad. It was exciting. The music was amazing. I mean, it's just a home run.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is like the Renaissance age and I think the Bronze Age is also underrated, but in terms of the Renaissance age, they were hitting home runs for basically almost every movie, like Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Lion King. It's just like it's an amazing age of Disney.
Oh, it was the best. As a kid in the 90s, you couldn't beat these movies. I mean, for me, I was like,
objectively speaking, I'd say the Renaissance age is like the greatest age.
Yeah. And I think it's because of the music, to be honest. When they hired Alan Menken and Howard Ashman at the beginning, and of course this one's not Alan Menken, but they decided, hey, we're going to make music, a big part of these movies, and almost like a Broadway. I mean, all these movies have become Broadway hits as well. Lion King's one of the biggest Broadway hits of all time, I would say, and that's just their genius. So that's how they got from, because the you call it the Bronze Age, I think, like it was kind of a dark period for Disney.
Yeah, they had a low budget.
They weren't doing as well at that time, and then when they said, hey, we need to do something different, and they hired Ashman and Menken, and they just started killing it song wise. I mean, every movie won best song. I mean, from Little Mermaid to this movie to Pocahontas even. I mean, every year the best song was a Disney movie, and best score a lot of times was a Disney movie. I mean, I put a lot on the music. It And this one's probably my favorite soundtrack of all the Disney movies. And
I probably would say that it's either Tarzan with Phil Collins or Hercules, but the Lion King's a masterpiece of its own. So those three movies are my top three.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer. It's probably my favorite Hans Zimmer score, and Hans Zimmer is like one of my favorite composers.
Yeah, I think. Oh, okay.
Uncle Scar,
Uncle Scar.
For you.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, I guess, how I first saw this movie. I first saw the film in 2003, which was when the DVD release of it came out. The only knowledge I had of The Lion King before seeing the film in full, like with a lot of these Disney films, I've watched a lot of the Disney sing-along videos growing up. So before seeing the film, I think the only songs I was familiar with was Circle of Life and I Just Can't Wait to Be King, because they were on some of the sing-alongs.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I watched the film, instantly I was mesmerized from seeing the opening Circle of Life, seeing the epic scope of the story play out. I remember being in utter shock when they killed Mufasa on screen.
Yeah.
I think that might have been probably, along with Bambi's mom, the most traumatic Disney death. And I think with Mufasa, it hit even harder because you actually see his corpse compared to Bambi's mom when it was off screen. And so I was like in complete shock that happened. And I think at one part of the film, I was like, am I actually going to like this movie? They killed off a character I really, really like.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just builds into an amazing second half with this brilliant payoff. And then you got some great comic relief sidekicks like Timon and Pumbaa that help kind of ease the tension of some of the more darker aspects of the story without feeling jarring. Side note, Hakuna Matata was my favorite Disney song as a kid.
Yeah.
That's an awesome song.
But this is a movie that's been with me all this time, and years later, it's my favorite Disney movie.
Yeah, when I was a little kid and I first saw that movie and saw like Mufasa get killed, I'm like, I remember thinking like, no one's gonna get killed in this movie. And when I saw that, I'm like, whoa, just hits you hard, and it's just like, it's gonna be serious when they kill off a character's parent like that. I mean, it all started really with Bambi. That's like the famous beginning of that. Of course, Cinderella's parents weren't like, of course, they weren't around in their life. Like, of course, but like Bambi was like the first like extreme example of that, and I think this is like the best use of that in the Lion King. Is that like, like you said, Jacob, it's like they show the corpse, they show it, it's like very sad. He goes to his father. He was like, "Dad, get up! It's time to go. Time to go home."
Here's my heart.
Gets me every time. That scene, and when in Fox and the Hound, when the owner had to like go in the forest and like drop him off and leave him behind. Those two scenes always get me.
Yeah. I find this scene very sad.
I will say I cried like a baby when I first saw The Lion King with what happened to Mufasa.
Yeah.
And I don't think I have that same emotion now because I've seen the film so many times, but it's still a very powerful scene. A lot of which is, I think, the acting. It's Jonathan Taylor Thomas who voiced Kid Simba, who was big on Home Improvement at the time. He gives a really good performance in that scene. Like you feel the pain in him when he starts to slowly realize that his father is dead, and then you got the Hans Zimmer score to back it up. I'm like, it's very, very poignant stuff. And I actually did see this film. I saw a re-release of the film in theaters. They re-released it in 3D, and I'd like to say 2011. And I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it was because the 3D glasses or whatever, but my eyes were starting to water up seeing it on the big screen.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think he's just trolling. He's trolling. He likes
2019's way better.
No, the 2019 version sucks.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that one, to be honest.
No, I'll tell you, I'll give you one reason why the 2019 one sucks. It's the wildebeest stampede. You watch the animated film and you see the wildebeest come down and you see the look of shock on Simba's face as he sees the wildebeest stampede. It's like,
yeah, so good.
In the remake, he just like,
yeah, they don't have an expression.
He has no expression.
That's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is.
and then when Scar kills Mufasa, you hear the horror on Simba's face as he screams, "No!" Yeah. In the remake, he's like, "Ow!" Like a spoiled cat crying for its dinner.
Yeah.
So laughably stupid.
Yeah. Can we talk about Scar being maybe the best villain in Disney? I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
What a great
villains.
Jeremy Irons. I mean, what a great villain, and still one of my favorites today.
Yeah, I think the reason why Scar is ranked so high and one of my favorite Disney villains is because for most of the movie he successfully succeeds in his plan. He kills his brother. Mm-hmm. He convinces Simba that Simba was the one who killed him.
Yeah.
Forced him out of the way and took the throne for himself. And had Simba had not come back to challenge him, Scar would have won.
Mm-hmm. I'd say, yeah, Scar's definitely one of the all-time best. Me personally, my all-time favorite villain in the Disney movie is probably Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Frollo is my number 2.
Frollo.
That guy's just heartless. He's just
yeah.
Scar was heartless in like a selfish kind of way. Frollo was just a heartless guy, and you listen to Hellfire and you just listen to him the way he's just like, yeah, he just basically proves how heartless of a guy that he is. He's just if you want like a great like really evil like Disney villain, Frollo's definitely there. Yeah, but the Scar's definitely my second favorite though.
Hello, Henry. I was just messaging him earlier. I was supposed to message him earlier about checking out his channel.
And he gets a pretty good villain song too, as well. I think.
Be prepared.
That's one of my favorite songs of the film.
Be prepared.
I've always loved that one.
Yeah. I just love. That's when you find out how evil he is, and just like. You mean kill Mufasa or something like one of the hyenas, and he's like, that's when you're like, oh man,
never go hungry again.
Never go hungry again.
And then he's able. Then like the hyenas do like this Nazi march.
Yes, Nazi march.
Yeah,
in a Disney movie.
It's so interesting to see that.
I told you how evil Scar is.
I love Lion King. Was it 2.5 or whatever? 3.5.
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Where they're there. Timon and Pumbaa are like actually there when that happens, and then they're like, oh, let's leave.
That's
very funny.
Lion King 1.5 is pretty funny.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I actually. Here, my biggest hot take. I actually like that better than the second movie, the directed.
I think so.
I agree.
Like Lion King 2 is a solid sequel, but Lion King 1
probably the best of the direct. It's probably the best direct to. It's probably the best direct to VHS sequel I've watched.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also,
it's quality.
Lion King 1.5 has one of the most underrated Disney songs in it. Dig-a-dana, dig-a-dig-a-dana.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
It's so funny though, seeing like Timon and Pumbaa get their side of the story, basically, like the main characters.
I kind of view Lion King 1.5 as more of a parody of the original movie than an actual installment. But I think that's what makes the film funny.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah,
it's a great movie, that one.
But speaking of Timon and Pumbaa, they are probably my favorite. Well, it's hard saying which is my favorite comedic character in a Disney movie because the genie is up there, but Timon and Pumbaa are definitely up there as well.
They're probably up there. Yeah.
I think they are pretty hilarious together. I do like the back and forth with Timon being the brains and Pumbaa kind of being the dumb one, but still has a heart of gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Pumbaa has has his smart moments though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think like with the star scene where he's like, I think
Yeah.
it's a great bug, yes, and then like Simone's like,
You
I don't think you know
anything
what you're
can.
talking about or something like that.
You're a big ball of gas.
Yeah.
Like they're like, what do you think those things are up above the sky?
They're
Well, we're going to go back because what I love about this movie a lot too is that it's like I learned about it in English class like way back about foreshadowing, and like a big example of foreshadowing in this movie is like when Simba's like, are you gonna be alive forever? And then he's like, he doesn't say no or yes. He's like, Simba, look at the stars. So that's like foreshadowing of what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I love when it comes back later when he's like,
Yeah.
when Simba's like, someone once told me that it was like the Great Kings or whatever. Like the funny scene is when like Timon's like, what is it, like a bunch of dead people looking down at us or something like that? They make like a joke out of it, and Simba gets upset about that.
Yeah.
He felt so passionate about that, and then like Pumbaa's like, is it something I said?
What's eating him? Nothing. He's at the top of the food chain. I don't know.
Who do I like better, Timon or Pumbaa?
Feewood Street. What?
What does Street one character mean?
I'm not sure.
I thought it meant get rid of one character from the film.
I can't say. I like both characters.
Oh yeah, both characters are awesome.
You can't have Timon without Pumbaa. Oh. Oh yeah. Henry wants you to be part of the Confused Matthew re-review of the Lion King hot take. I think that's what he said. You don't have to, Jason, but
you did like a hot take, didn't you, on Lion King? Or
we did. That was our first one, but he did a re-review of it.
A re-review? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh man, that Confused Matthew review of it was awful. It's like one of the worst reviews I've ever watched. Movie. Or he would, let's put it this way. In his review, he said Simba was a brat. He felt like Scar was the true king of the movie, like he deserved it more than Simba, and he believed Timon and Pumbaa were the real villains of the movie. Yeah, because he believes Hakuna Matata is nothing more than a song about laziness. Which is absolute bullcrap.
They're all about kind of lazing around. Not having worries. But Timon and Pumbaa is one of the best comedy duos I think of all time. They play so well off each other. I mean, Nathan Lane, of course, Timon to me is definitely one of my favorite characters. I forget the name of the guy that plays Pumbaa,
it's Ernie Sabella, I think his name.
Ernie Sabella, yeah. And they play. It's just good chemistry, and I love that. I've said this before on like other things. Like I like when you have two individuals who are both kind of dumb, but there's one that's like slightly smarter than the other one, so he's kind of the leader, even though he's not really that smart, and it just makes this really funny kind of duo. Like what I love about Timon is someone will come up with an idea, and he'll say like, that's a stupid idea, and then he'll go, wait a minute, I got an idea. And then he'll repeat the same idea and kind of make it his own. And poor Pumbaa, he just takes it, He's just like,
he's like, he's my best friend. Who cares?
Hey, how about we have him be on our side? And it's like that's what Pumbaa just said.
So you gonna join that live stream?
Yeah, I'll join. Sure.
What characters haven't we spoken about yet?
Man, I love. Like Mufasa is just a great character in general.
Great dad. One of the great dads.
Voiced by James Earl Jones. Like we talked about, Buck Cluck is like probably the worst Disney dad. Mufasa is probably the best Disney dad.
Mufasa's a
agree more.
Great dad.
Couldn't agree more.
There's not many great dads probably, to be honest. I don't know in Disney. They're all dead usually.
Yeah. Well, Mufasa dies, but what we do get of him, you have a character that has a lot of wisdom. He deeply cares for his son, even when, Simba disobeys him, when he ventures into the elephant graveyard by himself, even when he wasn't supposed to. He reprimands him for it, but he does it out of love.
Yeah, teaches them a lesson. Yeah,
teaches them a lesson. Yeah, you get to see what a great father should be.
Yeah, definitely.
And
What do you guys think?
Not to mention, he's voiced by James Earl Jones, Darth Vader himself.
One of the best voices of all time.
Yeah. A part of me wish when you see Ghost Mufasa at the end, I kind of wish they should have done this opportunity. They should have done like Simba.
I am your father.
I am your father.
No.
Or like, oh yeah, like when that scene in the movie where where he's like a ghost or whatever, when he was trying to find himself, it's like find yourself, Simba, and then like at the end he's like, I am your father, and then like Simba's like, it's like, come back. What do you mean?
You are my son and the one true key, and also I am your father.
No, come back.
Okay.
Oh, you street fight. Is that what you said?
I don't know.
Hey.
Yeah, let's go Lions, not Kansas City.
The Detroit Lions are in it.
Yeah, if they get into the playoff, if they get into the Super Bowl with the Chiefs,
The
Chiefs are gonna have some easy pickings there.
What do you guys think of the character Zazu?
Zazu's a good
I
actor.
like Zazu.
I like
I like
Zazu.
Zazu.
Yeah,
I always forget that he's voiced by Mr. Bean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron Atkinson.
He's probably my
Yeah.
least favorite character of the movie, though.
Yeah, it's a minor character, but
I do like the part where he's imprisoned by Scar and he's forced to sing for him, and they do one meta joke which was funny where he sings "It's a Small World" and it annoys Scar because there's either two types of Disney fans: either those who think "It's a Small World" is really catchy or it's really annoying.
It's a small world after all.
No, anything right now.
And then he's like, sing something punksy, and he's like, bum, bum. And he's like, and then like he mumbles, I wish Mufasa was here. He's like, what did you say? he's like, no, never mind. I didn't say nothing.
Yeah, and I don't. There's no bad character in this movie. Like, it's funny because I just recently watched Inspector Gadget for the first time. And Matthew Broderick is horribly miscast in this movie. But when I reviewed that, I'm like, Matthew Broderick can be a good actor. Like, he's great as Ferris Bueller. And I also stand by that he's really good as adult Simba. Like, he definitely he still conveys the emotion that you saw from Simba in his youth, the guilt that he faces, because the whole time he felt like he was the one who killed his father. And he doesn't want to go back and confront his past. He wants to stay hidden for so long, and you definitely feel that even when Matthew Broderick is playing the character, and probably one of his better performances.
Yeah. What do you guys think? I'll let you go first, Nick.
Okay. One of my favorite scenes in the movie in the beginnings when there were with the pinning part where Nala's like pinch you again, and it's like I love that scene because in the middle of the movie also there was like a beginning scene where Mufasa was teaching Simba how to pounce. It's like a pounce scene. it's like and like Zazu says pouncing. But like that happens, and like of course in the middle of the movie, like Nala pounces Timon, and of course Simba fights for them, and like Timon's like, see, this is my idea. This is why we should have gotten him on our side. Have someone protect us, even though of course it was Pumbaa's idea. And like, I love the part when Nala pins him, and she was like, "Is that Simba?" Like she realizes that was Simba because she pins him, and she's like, "Simba."
Yeah.
And he's like, Nala? And then they remember each other, and of course that awesome scene with Can You Feel Love Tonight? And I feel like that's one of the best parts of the movie was when she pins him in that part of the movie, and then they like acquaint each other, and like Pumbaa and like Timon are like they feel like outcasted because of her, and That's just one of my favorite parts. Of the movie.
That's a good payoff, and I love one of my favorite laughs in this whole movie is Timon's reaction after they start. Instead of fighting, they're like celebrating, and Timon's like,
"What's going on?"
Yeah.
Do you guys have a favorite song in the movie?
Oh, "Circle of Life" is my favorite.
Be prepared.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Probably my favorite.
Yeah. Can You Feel the Love Tonight is my favorite.
Yeah.
Followed by Circle of Life.
Circle of Life is so good.
And Be Prepared as well.
Now, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I actually prefer the Elton John version.
Elton John's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I prefer his version as well.
But it's still a good song.
It's a beautiful ballad, love ballad.
Yeah, great ballad. The movie I think the movie version, I like the movie version well. It suits the movie, but I think if I was rating it, just the Elton John version would be my second favorite.
I think to me, it was just brilliant how Hans Zimmer, I'm guessing Hans Zimmer is probably one behind it, but how he uses African choir and instruments because they're in Africa, they're lions.
Yeah.
And so, instead of just using Elton John's vocals or whatever his, which is great, but I love how he uses the African influences, just make it even better, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's an African artist that does the thing at the beginning of Circle of Life. His name is Lebo M. There's and
that's so iconic.
Yeah, he has a great shot of the sun coming up, and then
coming up.
You have all the animals going to Pride Rock to see the coronation of Simba, and it's treated as like this majestic event. Like you have to be there because it's like the greatest thing you'll ever see in your life. It's my favorite opening, I think. Probably to any movie ever, Circle of Life.
Yeah,
if you ever watch that scene, it's like super iconic.
It's one of my favorite parts of the film as well.
Yeah.
Yes. The camera, the way the camera moves is great.
Yeah.
Especially, I love the shot with Zazu flying.
Yes.
That's a great shot.
Great shot.
And when Rafiki open up the fruit and take drank a little bit of it and did the so iconic. It's that whole scene is just iconic. It's if I would say if you never watched that scene, just watch The Lion King. But if you've never seen that scene, that's one scene to get out of it.
I got a crazy story for you. So this movie and Pocahontas was actually in production around the same time, but a lot of the top talent animators decided to work on Pocahontas because everyone thought Pocahontas was going to be the bigger hit. They were thinking it would be about as big as Beauty and the Beast, where it would get Oscar nominated for Best Picture and all that. So some of the lesser animated talents worked on The Lion King, and The Lion King was seen as the B picture. I don't think even Disney had much faith in The Lion King itself, but I think that was changed. I saw they did a teaser trailer for the movie, I think around the time Aladdin came out, and it was just Circle of Life. And I think that intrigued enough to where it started to say, maybe The Lion King is going to be a good movie after all. And it turned out The Lion King turned out to be the bigger hit, was the much more critically acclaimed film. And I think it's still the highest grossing 2D animated movie to this day.
I was going to say, it's a highest grossing animated movie, maybe up till Frozen or something.
Yeah.
I find Pocahontas to be a very boring and problematic movie. Meanwhile, The Lion King's a masterpiece. So I don't know what
The Lion King is a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's definitely the bigger one.
Do you guys have a favorite moment in The Lion King?
Ooh, there's a lot of great moments in The Lion King.
I know.
It's like picking a favorite child almost. It's like
yeah. I think my favorite. I think my favorite is probably the opening part of the movie and you Can You Feel the Love Tonight part, as well as the bit when Scar reveals that he killed Mufasa.
I killed Mufasa.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think I would say probably my three favorite moments in the film, if I had to say. Circle of Life, I guess that's my favorite Disney song of all time. I would have to say, this is hard. The Be Prepared scene is amazing. That's probably up there. And then probably when Simba sees Mufasa's ghost, it's such a powerful moment. That's probably my three favorite scenes in the movie.
If you ask me, I can't pick favorites. I'm just gonna say three parts I like from it because, like I said, there's no bad part of the movie. I think the whole movie's great, so I'm just gonna say three honorable mentions. First one being, of course, Circle of Life. I think we could all agree that's an essential part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just jaw dropping how great of that scene is.
Mm-hmm.
Another one I'm gonna have to say is when Scar was like, "It's the hyenas to them," and like they were like pissed off, and then like at the end he's like, "Hey friends, hey," and they're like, "You said we were the enemies," and then they kill him, and I'm just like, yes.
That's a pretty. I know the death is off screen, but it's like, okay, if that was on camera, that'd be the most gruesome Disney death in history.
Oh yeah.
Get attacked by the hyenas.
Yeah.
And I guess the third one I would say is I guess I'll throw in my unusual pick. I'd probably like say the part when Simba was found by them and like Timon and Pumbaa didn't know what to do with it, and like Timon's like, "You're crazy. We can't pick him up. He's a lion. He eats people like us." And Pumbaa was like, "What if he's on our side?" And of course we went over the joke already, and then like Timon was like, "That won't work.
That won't work.
But if we have him on our side, that's one of those that's a great part. Like I said, there is no best part of the movie. I think all the parts of this movie's great. So those are just three honorable mentions.
Yeah. One part that I think is one of the best parts is at the end when they defeat Scar, and then I think the mom tells Simba to like go up on Pride Rock. And as he's walking up Pride Rock, the score is just like blasting, and the score is so good. Like that is one of the best moments. Like that's when I was watching it last time, I was like, "Oh, this Hans Zimmer score is so." He won the Oscar, by the way. It's first Oscar for this movie, and it was nominated for 3 songs, I believe. "Circle of Life," "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" won the Oscar, and then I think "Hakuna Matata" was also nominated. So it had 3 Oscar nominations for song, and then won the score as well. And that score is that's the best part of the score, I think, is that moment when he walks up Pride Rock and then he does the lion yell. Yeah. It's a beautiful moment too, beautifully shot, score. It's like, wow, that is a great moment. Like, and then it goes into like the more fast paced because everything's starting to get better. The sun's coming out and everything you can tell is getting better. It's really
like the vegetation and everything's back.
Yeah. I tell you, the moment that makes me laugh the most, and every time I watch it, and it made me laugh when I was in theater, is when they're fighting the hyenas, and Rafiki comes out, and he all of a sudden becomes Bruce Lee, and he doesn't flip.
That was really funny.
He's hitting them with a stick, and then he hits one. And I was like, that gets me every time. I'm like, that is so
when
funny.
that suddenly it became Yoda all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's just flipping around. And,
I don't know where it suddenly came from.
I'll tell you one of my favorite funny parts of the movie real quick. I want to bring this. So I tell you, this is like right after Mufasa dies, and Scar sends the hyenas to try to kill Simba. So Simba escapes the hyenas. He goes through the thorns, and then one of the hyenas, stops. Doesn't want to go into the thorns. They stop. The one hyena gets knocked off, falls in the thorn bush, and goes, "Ah!" So go get him. And then the Whoopi Goldberg hyena is like, "There ain't no way I'm going in there. What do you want me to go about looking at you? Cactus butt."
Cactus butt.
I will say,
very funny.
the part with Rafiki was when Rafiki hit Simba on the head. It's like Simba's like, "Ow, that hurt." He was like, "Yes, as can hurt." And then like after that, he like swings and then he dodges it. And he's like, "See, it's like
that's a great line too, and like that's like a great life lesson. Yes, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either learn from it, or no, you can either run from it or learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like perfect writing. Perfect writing.
Before we talk about bad for the movie, I'll just highlight on a few more things. I think it's one of the best paced animated movies.
Yeah,
I think there's a brilliant amount of space between each song as well. It goes by really quick every time I watch it. It's probably the best 2D animated movie I've seen in terms of how it looks, and the movie as a whole as well.
Yeah, like the animation, like is just top notch all in itself. Like I don't think there's any looking 2D animated film in the Disney Renaissance, and this is like, I think they put their best resources in this movie. And even the one scene where they used CGI, like they actually used CGI to create the wildebeest, but even still, that still looks really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think the characters are excellent for the most part, and so is the music and the score. It really just adds to the movie. I don't really have any problems with it. I just think
I think if I had to say something negative wise, I'm thankful that they cut the Morning Report song in the theatrical cut. They did it in the special edition, the Morning Report song, even though I'm kind of nostalgia for it because that was the cut of the movie I watched because it was on the DVD. The Morning Report song kind of sucks.
I think that was the first version I saw as well. I think the first saw Lion King on DVD. Yeah.
Huh?
It was it felt forced. It felt like it was forced.
Yeah, it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed that one.
The scene was funnier without the song, where
yeah,
like cheetahs never win or something like that, and then something about the elephant, but I forgot, or I can't remember. There's all these.
Yeah, I never watched that before. That was my first time watching. I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah, I think it would have caused them. I don't think I would have rated the movie as high. Well, then again, I still love the movie even with the song because that was the version I saw for many years. I didn't see the theatrical cut for the first time. I'd like to say probably wasn't around 2011 when they did the re-release in theaters. I'm like, I like this version a lot better. The bouncing lesson, it's funnier.
I tell you, the one negative I have that I would if I could move a scene, I would move the Pumbaa scene about farting or whatever. Like,
yeah, I'd get rid of that as well.
As an adult, I find it's very immature and not funny. As a kid, I thought it was funny, but as an adult, I'm like, that's just a little too immature for my.
I do like the joke where he's like, I do like the joke in the song where he's like, every time hey, Pumbaa, not in front of the kids.
Yeah, that was funny. The fourth wall break.
I'm alright with that bit.
Not in front of the kids, yeah.
Well, if you thought that was bad, they do a big fart in 1.5.
Yeah,
they do.
I really like that one.
The fart in 1.5 was hilarious.
Fart jokes.
That's a funny scene in that.
But
I personally am not a fan of fart jokes, but for some reason in this movie it always makes me laugh because it's like when he was a young warthog.
Yeah.
When I was a young warthog.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yeah. Thanks.
It's so funny. Like even though the fart joke itself wasn't that funny, like what it built up to, and then like their reactions to it. Personally, I don't think there's a flaw in this movie. I think every scene works. Even the fart scene, I don't think it's that bad. Like,
no,
yeah, it's a little thing, but
yeah, it's like I said. It's just a nitpick, really.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to be like, oh, if this scene wasn't in the movie, this would be this score.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just
I also find that the hyenas a bit annoying at times. But I suppose they're meant to be like that though.
Yeah.
One that doesn't talk is kind of annoying, I would say, but Ed, I think.
Yeah, Ed. But what would you guys rate this movie?
10 out of 10.
Yeah, it gets 10 out of 10 from me.
An easy 10 out of 10.
I mean, it's no Chicken Little, but I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
We all give it a 10. Not Chicken Little, but
It's
the
not
Lion
quite
King
like
will give it a
Chicken
10.
Little, but it's a 10 out of 10. I'd say.
It's an okay movie. Like Chicken Little does it better.
No, the Lion King. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. It's probably the first I've seen the most as well.
Have you ever heard that there was like a animation movie before Lion King that has the exact same plot line called like The White Lion or something?
There's I think it was an anime that came out in the 60s called Kimba the White Lion, and I think there was a controversy at the time.
Yeah,
people thought Disney took that and ripped it off, but it sounded like it was more of a coincidence. So
yeah,
it's funny though. Like it's so similar that you're like, holy cow. I can see where they're coming from. Like, yeah, it seemed like they ripped it off, but I don't think they did.
No, if anything, they took the biggest inspiration from Shakespeare.
I say Hamlet, yeah.
Hamlet more so than
that's true. That's kind of
the anime was.
Yeah, what they talk about.
Yeah.
You ever see like
that's probably why The Lion King is so good, because it had good source material to take its influence from, and a good part of this film feels like an epic tragedy almost.
Yeah.
Simba losing his dad and then feeling guilty about it, and so he runs off, and then he comes back to confront his problems.
I still find it hard to watch that scene when Simba's trying to wake up his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I sometimes still struggle to watch it.
Have you heard the criticisms of like, you know, the song I just can't wait to be king, and it's like, because to be king his dad would have to be dead, so it's like, why is he singing about
he probably didn't think much of it then. He was so excited about it.
I know.
He was only a kid.
He's only a kid, yeah. Because Confused Matthew made that criticism. He called I'm not gonna use the actual term because I don't typically swear, but he called Simba an a-hole throughout the course of the video. And I'm like, but everyone, like, I was saying this, Henry was saying this, Ryan Cam, and there were even comments on the live chat like, chill, dude. Simba's just a kid. He doesn't know better.
No, but I've heard people point out, and I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, yeah, it's a little problematic, but
how much time do you think had passed between Simba leaving and come back to Briar Rock?
Yeah.
How many years would you say?
Wow,
that's a good question.
4 or 5.
That's a good question.
4 or 5 years.
Because the growth spurt of lions is different than that of humans.
Right. I was gonna say, how long does a lion live? I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah.
No older.
Hey, Mike.
Live. Thank you.
Have you actually seen this one, Mike?
I'm not sure if I want to read this, if I'm being honest. He's only seen the live action.
Oh my god! You're missing out on.
You really, oh no!
So
what are you doing, Mike?
So let me get this straight. So Mike doesn't like the Beatles, and he only saw the live version of live action version of Lion King.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
this is what I can say about the live action one. Like, I liked how they did Circle of Life.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the backgrounds of the movie, and I enjoyed Timon and Pumbaa. But the rest of the movie is just a shallow, emotionless carbon copy. I got nothing out of it.
I think he added an extra scene in the movie, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same film as the animated film, but has no heart.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Just made a comment saying some call me Mr. Hot Take.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Hey, don't worry, Mike. I have tons of hot takes too. I didn't know I was going to say this, but Jason's also capable of having hot takes too.
Hey, Mike, at least you don't call yourself Mr. Wonderful. And if you did call yourself Mr. Wonderful, I'd tell you to dust your broom.
But I'm glad we finally talked about this movie. It was great to revisit it again, and I can't believe it did need 30 years old.
That's crazy.
It's
Do you
3
guys talk
decades
about
old nearly.
Hunchback yet?
30 years old this year.
Yeah, I think, to answer your question, Nick, this is our 3rd episode. We've only done this, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin.
I'm down to join you guys for Hunchback because I love that movie too.
Yeah,
I do too.
If you ever get to that one.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do... you knew the reference, Mike.
If you only knew the reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we might do a 3D animated Disney film next time.
Oh, okay. Try to give it some variety.
Yeah, I was thinking to do Entangled next.
Tangled's next. I'm good with that. Tangled's a good movie.
I would say, well, if you ever get to Hunchback or any of the Bronze Age movies, just let me know and I'll be down to join you.
Yeah.
But do you guys have any final words before we conclude this?
I think this movie's amazing.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
It's an amazing movie. Remember who you are, and Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Means no worries.
What a wonderful phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time. Ciao.